Hi, my name is Brian, and if you stick around for just 15 seconds, I'll show you a newly discovered online.
Listen, man, stand sister, don't know. Pharaoh's out, all of your men got drowned in the sea one day. Yes, baby. Mary, don't weep. Tell Martha not to mourn. Don't mourn. Don't mourn. And if I could, I'd shout the world. I'd stand right up on the rock. Yes, I would. I'd stand right where Moses stood. Yes, I would. Pharaoh's out. I know you knew that story, but how they got drowned in the sea. Oh, yeah. Jesus said, Mary, Mary, don't weep. Don't weep. Tell your sister not to mourn. Don't mourn. Don't mourn. We're going to review the story, two sisters. Well, Mary and Martha, they had a brother named Lazarus. One day while Jesus was away, that dear, oh, brother died. Yeah. But now Mary went running to Jesus. She said, Master, if you would have been here, my brother would never die. Oh, but she did. Jesus said, come on and show me where you buried. Show me where you lay. And when he got there, Jesus said, for the benefit of you who don't believe in me this evening, I'm going to preach out. He said, love. Hear my he got up walking like a natural. Yes, he did. Oh, yes, he did. Jesus said, don't you leave. Go home. Don't you have your sister. Come home. Because you see, Pharaoh's eyes. Pharaoh's eyes. They got don't you know? Good evening, y'all. I just had to start it off with such a blast. Welcome. If you are new to the channel, then we got to welcome you, and we hope that you will join us again and again. If you are a returning subscriber, follower, then please, we want to make you feel just as welcome by saying welcome back. I'm doing two types of videos on both channels, so people from the TikTok and the LinkedIn, if you're coming in from the Facebook or the Twitter, then again, everyone is welcome. I hope you guys are excited, as well as I am excited, about learning some more codes about this so-called corrupted government. But before I get into all of these wonderful things that I want to share with you this evening, I've got to do my disclosure and disclaimer. All music of all videos, I have no copyrights intention. The music is played for pure entertainment and part of the video and part of a video theme. So please be advised. I make no claim of ownership to any of the music played or any of the lives or pre-recorded videos. I also make no claim to any of the contents of the music. So All the rights of the ownership is strictly belongs to the original artist, and I make no profit of it. This evening we are doing a musical tribute for gospel greats. That will be a variety of all different types of gospel music. I may play a song here or there, but we are in the spirit this evening. We are in the spirit, and we got a lot to talk about. Don't forget to go ahead, click, like, and subscribe to both channels, the Queen of Radio and the Queen Bees. Any questions, comments, or concern, please email us at atorclass101@gmail.com or queenbeesld1000@gmail.com. And please don't be shy about all donations to support either channel. The donation things are right there on the screen. Now, as I get started, I got to first start by saying, I got to give a little bit of a public announcement. My band, some of y'all know my band, that's called the Sapphires Blue Notes. We are currently looking for a musician who has experience in sounding like Sugarfoot of the Ohio Players. We're getting ready to do a 5-star funk music tour. And we are looking for someone who can play. We don't care whether you're male or female, just as long as you can play and sing funk music. If anyone that know of anyone, please have them to contact us immediately. Now, we're gonna start off by talking about the 411, the 444. For the missing link of the 411. If you are sitting in you're welcome to come into the chat room. The chat room is open. If you are sitting in the trenches and you would like to join us on tonight to speak your piece, like I said, we're open for any comments, questions, or concerns before I get started. Just to let you know, we are all welcome, and we all treat each other like VIPs, like we normally do. Now, getting back on to the groove of tonight's program, and y'all know how I do. I'm always dropping jewels all over the place. I just can't help it. They probably gonna have to change my name from the Queen of Radio to the Queen of the Jewels, because I drop more jewels around here than the Egyptian pyramid. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Now we have had a little bit of I'm going to say a hiccup. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a hiccup because about 2 weeks ago, and I have to say this, I've been getting, over these past 2 weeks, I've been getting about 159 of you were upset at the fact that of a video that was played or did on live. And there was 85 of you that came in on the live 2 weeks ago. If y'all can remember, the name of that video was called Color of Crimes. And I did a musical tribute of both Grover Washington and Sade. Now, before I could, and I have to put this on Front Street, before I got off of the live 2 weeks ago, YouTube decided that they were going to go ahead and block the video that I did. Yeah, they blocked it, and I had no control over YouTube blocking the video, but I did try to make it, what I did was, before I got off of that video 2 weeks ago, I did download it, and now it's on an MP4 player. So anyone that has missed that video, because I dropped a lot of jewels, and anybody that was on that live know that I dropped a shipload of jewels that night. And YouTube was not happy with it. Matter of fact, YouTube came back to me and told me that Russia had a problem with black people. Now, I'm gonna say this, and I don't give a, to be quite honest with y'all know how I do. I don't give a rat's ass about Russia. The people from Russia don't know me, and I don't know them. So I don't know why YouTube feels like they need to put that up there. They made the comment that, you know, Russia don't like black people. Well, if Russia don't like black people, then Russia needs to stay where the hell they are, because my videos has absolutely nothing to do with them. And I'm gonna also say this for YouTube, because I know that they are listening. They're listening right along with the oppressors. YouTube, you are in a lot of trouble, because you have already been served. YouTube has been served notice to stop messing around with any of the contents of my video. What pisses me off even more is the fact that I'm not making a dime. Let me say this. I'm not making not one thin dime off of the videos that I put up on this YouTube channel. However, YouTube is making a lot of money off of not only my videos, but anybody's video that is posted on the YouTube channel, which is the reason why they are in a lot of trouble. Because let me say this, and I hope YouTube is watching or listening. I don't give a rat's ass, okay? But know this, YouTube, I am coming for that ass. Just know that I'm coming, and I don't want to hear wait them up, slow them up, wait a minute, I didn't mean to do that, because you have had plenty enough opportunities to make the situation right where you need to leave me the hell alone. And I'm not going to keep saying the same thing over and over. You know, when you know, it's two things that you should fear. You should fear your parents, and you should fear God. And in this situation, YouTube needs to fear me. Because like I said, I'm gonna let you think that you're getting away. I'm gonna let YouTube think that they are getting away with what they're getting away with. But the contents of my videos, and every video that I come on, whether I play music or whatever, I always say my disclaimer that I make no profit off of any of this. So it looks like I need 444 for that missing video. But anybody that is interested in getting a copy of the video, you have to receive it by email. You have to send me an email at either address at atorclass101@gmail.com or the Queen Bee's LD1000, and I will gladly give you guys permission. It's called electronic permission slip that is made up from Google. Google says that I have the right to go ahead and share that video with anybody who I see fit. So anybody who is looking for that video, I want to make this clear. I did not take the video down. It wasn't in. Now, if people want to have a complaint, then you guys need to complain to YouTube and tell YouTube to stop messing with my stuff. My stuff is very important. You guys, a lot of people tell me that they are learning from my videos that I post up there, because you guys are starting to learn about all of the different codes. And I will continue to do videos as far as the codes, as long as I know that I have, I guess you could say, dedicated and wonderful subscribers such as yourselves. But however, you guys need to make your voice be known. If you want to continue to see the videos, you got to make yourself known to YouTube about that, because, you know, they were the ones that took it down. Now, I can gladly go ahead and put it back up, which I probably will. I won't put it on the Queen of Radio channel. I'll probably put it on the Queen Bee's channel. So I just wanted to first make that known in reference to that video, that yes, YouTube will be dealt with. You know, because at the end of the day, like I said, they make money off of all of our videos. I don't care who you are, whether you are Roland Martin, whether you are Willie D, regardless, they're making money off of all of us. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you know, they call themselves being brand new. As a channel holder of everybody's creative work on YouTube, they want to give you 10 cents on the dollar instead of 50% that is actually owned to each and every channel holder. Well, you know, I'm still working on getting my own platform, because, you know, I to be honest with you guys, I'm really have grown fed up. And at this point, there's nothing that YouTube can say or do that will make me, you know, whatever. So again, anybody that wants a copy of that video is available, and I would have to forward an electronic consent form that will need to be filled out because it's on an MP4 player. So please be advised at this particular point. Let me say this for everybody. I know you guys love my videos, and I love the fact that y'all are taking the time out to come and join and spend some time with me. But at this point, since YouTube likes to play a lot of unselfish or I should say selfish and foolish games, the only thing that I could suggest is that everybody start coming in on the live. That way you are guaranteed a spot. That way you are guaranteed to hear what I have to say for that particular video, because I cannot promise anyone that YouTube won't get in their little funky mood and decide to take the video down. So I just wanted that to be my first public announcement. Now getting on with the get going here. All right. I want to talk about, and this is what a lot of people don't know about the Queen of Radio. I'm gonna share with you guys a lot of information. So if you are out there, please get your paper and pen, because as usual, you know how I drop these jewels, and I let y'all be very well informed. You know, we are coming in a time where we need to get to what I call the round table discussion. Now, 3 years ago, I have to say, yeah, it was about 3.5 years, close near 4 years ago, I made out what I call a Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence are several pages where it speaks about how and why Black nation is in due for our reparations. It's a blueprint. It's pretty much a blueprint that was drawn up, and it took me about, like I said, about 3 years. Now, at that particular point in time, I didn't know who I wanted to make to be a part of my dream team. I'm looking, now that time has passed, I'm looking to invite some strong Black men. And I have already presented this presentation to Umar Johnson, and I'm hoping that he will get back in touch with me. Grandmaster Jay has already been known about the 7 Dream Team. He's already been made aware of that about 3 years ago. I'm trying to get someone from the Black Muslims to join me. There is a wonderful gentleman by the name of Eric Mays, who is the council person out of Flint, Michigan. Yeah, Flint, Michigan. I will be shooting a letter to him, asking him to join the 7. I haven't asked these men yet, so I'm just putting it out there that it's now time for us to go around to the round table and meet with these oppressors per se. It's time for some faces to be put face to face. Business need to be done. I'm planning on asking Ice Cube, and I'm planning on asking 5-Star General. These are 6 powerhouse of men that is not afraid to get up in the face of government. And I'm looking for 6 strong Black men or women. It just so happened I haven't ran. People say, well, why don't you ask a couple of women? It's not that I don't want to ask any women. It's just that I don't see any powerhouse women out there that's not afraid to deal with government. So, but if y'all know of someone that would be a perfect candidate for the dream team for us to knock on the door of the White House, because we're gonna make a pit stop there. We're gonna make a pit stop there. But anyway, I'm putting my dream team together because this has been long overdue as far as the reparations. I need for the people of the White House to see my blueprint. And before this program is over with, you guys are going to learn a whole lot more about the Queen of Radio that you didn't know before. You're going to be like, say what? Shut your mouth and keep on talking. Yes, I'm finna fill your ear hole this evening. So if you are out there in the trenches, I would welcome y'all to come on in, because I know somebody is going to have some questions before this is all long drawn and over with. Let me start off by saying, and I'm going to get into the groove a little bit here. Let me start off by saying that the department, DOJ was first introduced to me by George W. Bush. And I'm going to tell you how that came about. You see, there are three of the past presidents that I have had dialogue with. Now, I'm going to tell y'all like I told them. I told them then, and I also said this to Bill Clinton, and I've also said this to Obama, Michelle and Obama. I first said, look, I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. I could care less. And I tried to make myself very clear when I said these to these so-called officials. I said to them, I said, look, I give less than a rat's ass on how you run your government. But as long as you don't affect my household, because I'm a sovereign, okay? I am a true believer that this land should be ran by the faces and the powers of the Most High. I don't feel like I need a government to be in place to tell me how to wake up every morning and put my shoes on and how to do this, that, and the third. So my whole thing is this. I've made this quite clear to each and every one of the, and you know, back in the day, I had like nicknames for them. You know, I called, you know, I'm the type of person, I will correct you. I will tell you if you're right. When you're right, you're right. I give you full credit. But if you're wrong, you're subject to being cussed out by the queen. And that's just how I roll. And I didn't hold no punches with George Bush when I told him to sit his ass down. I said, what the hell is your problem? I said directly to him. And matter of fact, I said, and this is how this all got started. So it gives you an idea that I've been in dialogue with some of these past presidents. I told George Bush, I called him Spunky. I said, because he acted like somebody had stolen his G.I. Joe toys when he was a kid. And do you know that fool wrote me back and said, you know what? I like the name Spunky. I think I'll keep it. So, but during that time, George Bush had also referred me to the DOJ. So when I tell you that I know people, I know people. I get in places that people don't even think that I can get into. And I've also had dialogue with Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was the man who came to me and told me that he was planning on putting my daddy's name up on the wall because my father served in World War II with 9 Purple Hearts of bravery. So he was letting me know, and I used to call Bill Clinton Sir Jazz because he used to love to he's a jazz player. Jazz trumpet player, saxophone player. I'm sorry. So you know, Bill Clinton and I had music in common, and then it came along to when Michelle and Obama came into the White House, and I called them my strawberry and chocolate shake. And I still have their letter. Matter of fact, I have the letter of me having dialogue. I still have that receipt in a frame put away where I was corresponding with Obama during the time of his time in office. So like I told them, and I'll tell everybody, I'm neither Democrat nor Republican. I give less than a rat's ass how government does their business, just as long as their business doesn't affect me. Now, when you drop some BS on my doorstep, then we're gonna have a problem. I got no problems with packing up an overnight bag, putting my cat and Sheba in a carrying case and driving down Pennsylvania Avenue. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Pennsylvania Avenue is in Washington, D.C. I'll get there if I have to go by a horse and buggy carriage ride. I don't play. I try to be forthright. I try to be forthcoming and direct. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. So, yes, I have to honestly say that I was introduced to the Department of Justice by George W. Bush. Not that I'm proud of that, but it is what it is. Now, let me start pulling up my list of codes, because I know that's what y'all come here for. Okay, tonight we're going to be talking about all of these codes. And yeah, the question was also, before I get into that, the question was asked of me, do they know, I've had a question asked of me, do they know, I guess they're assuming the DOJ as well as the presidents of the former presidents of the United States, do they know my input as me being a sovereign? Yes, they do. Like I said again, I made myself very clear as to what I am. I am not a Republican, and I am not a Democrat, and I am not an independent, because independent in the terms of sovereignty, that means that you still want to be bothered with people of government. I don't want to be bothered with them on no type of level, if you ask me. And they have said behind the scenes that they wish that somebody would step up and take the fork by the rein, to bring back sovereignty for the human race. And at that particular time, I'm going to be honest with you, I was just too chicken hearted to do it. I said, well, maybe I'm not called to do this. Maybe, and to be honest with you, I got kind of lazy with it. I was looking around to see was somebody else more qualified and more bona fide in order to do it. I mean, they consider me to be a peacemaker. I can bring peace to any type of situation. They know my background very well. I mean, above the surface, I'm called the queen of radio, but underneath the surface, I'm a private eye. I get to the bottom of the things. I've solved cases. I've solved murder cases. It don't make me any difference. The format and the format and the plan and the blueprint is gonna always be the same. It's not gonna. You may have different victims, and you may have different circumstances, but the item of the blueprint is going to be the same. So they are very much, the DOJ and the presidents and all of those so-called, what I call governmental officials, they know who I am. They know what I stand for. They knew what I stood for then, and they know what I'm standing for now. But now we're at a point where we need to have that round table discussion. And I would like to have that round. I would like to, and I'm always invited, whether y'all know that or not. I'm always invited to Washington, D.C. It's just a matter of this. On this particular trip, I want to be able to bring my Black brothers with me. I want to have my fellow Black man next to me. I want to have my fellow Black man standing behind me. I want to have that faux. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay? So if I am the one that can get us there, then I need to have my people to support me. Okay. Now, when I had told the DOJ, I said, look here, if you've been paying any close attention to my videos, I'm educating the public. I'm educating the public about how you guys have been using the code. Y'all been using codes under fraudulent means. And you know what? They wasn't shocked. Okay. They were not shocked, because they were like, well, it was bound to happen. I mean, their attitude was like, okay, well, I mean, okay, the cat is out of the bag now. So now what are we going to do? Okay. So now that the cat is out of the bag, what we're going to have to do is start all over again. And this is the reason why I want my black faces and my Black brothers to support me on this journey, because I mean, don't get me wrong. I could go by myself. I mean, I could go several times by myself, but I would prefer to have just as strong Black men in my corner and to back me up and have that same conviction and have that same compassion. Because what I plan on doing, I have a blueprint of a plan. Yeah, I see the trolls. The white oppressors is not happy with this video. Maybe they'll go and call YouTube again and make a complaint. Okay, but anyway, I am a official peacemaker. That's what I tried to. I tried to, when my mama used to always tell me, well, both my parents used to always say, Linda, when you find that you have lemons, what you have to do is make lemonade. And there's always going to be peace, even in a warful situation. So I tried to bring peace to common ground, find out what they know, and let them find out what the Black nation wants and is expected of them. And then see if we can come to some type of mutual agreement. That's usually how that works. And I had said, I'm going to be doing a lot of private meetings coming up, and I'm going to be getting back on my platform, and I'm going to be sharing this information with everybody as best I can. Now, let's break down some codes for anybody that got your paper and pen. You might as well get ready, because I'm not going to try to be on here too long this evening. I'm a little bit exhausted because I've been going back and forth, and people are wondering, well, where are you at? What are you doing? This, that, and the third. Well, look, I got work to do. Okay, I need for everybody to understand. I got work to do. My queen bees have work to do. We are nowhere near done on what needs to be done. Yes, we are still working on items in reference to Grandmaster Jay that we cannot currently talk about, but I will tell you this. Grandmaster Jay is one part of the conversation, and I will probably bring a little bit more insight to my next week's video in reference to that video. But for now, we're going to talk about what has been talked about behind the scenes. Now, let me pull up. Let me see here, because I have to take a lot of notes, because if I don't pull up my notes, I'd have been and forgot something, and then when I get off, then I'll be like, oh man, I should have talked about that and forgot to talk about that. So I have to refer to some of my notes, y'all. It's not that I have a script. It's more that I have little, what I call index cards to say, okay, Linda, you got to talk about this. But anyway, we're going to start off by telling everybody about the United States Constitution. Okay. And you guys, I have mentioned this before in a past video, that there is no such thing as laws. I said that. And I told everybody, I challenge anyone to challenge me on it. If you go back and read over the entire United States Constitution, it nowhere does it say that this applies to human beings. What it says that it applies to chattel, property, and slavery. You see, as long as people are being brainwashed with the United States Constitution, you're going to always be under the thumb of government and believing that their stuff is legit when it's not. According to the documentation of real laws is when the masses of the people come together to give their signature on a documented page to say that they are willing to abide by any rules or regulations. Now, people are very much confused because regulations, rules, and ordinance has never been made law. Not for the human beings to obey. That only applies to anybody who works for, who was appointed, hired, or appointed into being a part of the governmental team. Now, on my past videos, I've given y'all the breakdowns of different scenarios. We went all the way from the bottom of the totem pole, which is the police officer, which is what we know as the trash collectors, all the way up to the president of the United States. And we have even covered all of the ones in between. I have done at least 40, now it's at the number of 42. I've done at least 42 videos on codes, and I'm still going to be dropping those codes. And I said to myself, it's time for me to do a book, because all of the information that I constantly put on these YouTube videos, and then being challenged by YouTube, that I got to find another creative way in order to get the message done or to get the message out. So now, y'all probably did not know that the United States Constitution is a code. Oh yeah, everything that government does is a code. We as a people have to figure out, what does the code mean? Okay, now, if for the ones who are very student, thank you for coming, and thank you for being in the trenches. I want you to write down the word Constitution. Forget about the United States in front of it, because the United States in front of it is nothing but a corporation of business. So we already know what that is. But I want y'all to write down the word Constitution. And I'm going to have you to break up that word as we go along. Now, if you look at what is the first three letters of Constitution? And if you are looking like I'm looking, it spells con. Does it not? Yes, Constitution, the first three letters is a code of con. Now, if you take the second part of that word, which is tuition or substitute, it's STITUTE. What that means is to do something, to make a change or make in place of. And then you got shun, TION. TION will always mean, in every code, means a call of action. Let me say this again, because somebody has missed it, and I've had 3 oppressors to get themselves out of the chat, which is okay with me. I don't have a problem with that. Again, Constitution is nothing but governmental's con. If you break the word up, it's CON, and CON is nothing but con or con artist. You can put con and another word to replace it. Then you got tuition, subtuition, subtute. That's STITUTE, subtute. Subtute means you are replacing it with a change or place of. And then you got shun, which means the call of action. Now, if this is made to be true, then how can it possibly be made to be called law? Somebody need to ask that question. How can it possibly? See, we all were brainwashed at one point in time. But see, I got out. Let me tell you, I worked getting out of the system over 40 years ago. And I'm a happy camper. I have government say, no, why don't you come on back? I don't want to come on back. I didn't woke up. I've been woke for 40 years. How long is it going to take you to wake up? So, no. And now that I have been been working on continuously keeping myself out of their system, and they're wanting me to come back into their system. Oh, well, we can do this for you. We can do that for you. No, you cannot do for me what God has already planned for me. Ooh, somebody, can I get a witness up in here? Can I get a witness? You cannot do. See, that's the problem. And I think I explained this to these people of government. Y'all want to play God. And see, I cannot, the Bible says you cannot serve upon 2 masters. You either going to serve the master who created you, or you're going to serve upon the master that thinks that they can own you through calling you being a slave. And slavery is never, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but as long as we as a people keep accepting their United States Constitution as law, then those people will never be free. They will never be free. It's all in the ramification of mind changing and using your voice. So now, let's break down the Department of Justice, because guess what, y'all? Department of Justice is also a code. Every word that is used in government has been used as a code, and you need to know what type of code it is. Now, if you look at it from the perspective, Department of Justice is supposed to be the what I call the mothership. Y'all remember how Parliament, there's a group called Parliament that says a mothership connection, where you got the mastership and then you got all of these little branches. You got all these, you got the House of Representatives. Okay, what exactly is the House of Representatives? That is nothing but a fancy word of saying that they are attorneys that is coming together to argue more about government. You will never hear about the House of Representatives saying that they are sitting up there arguing over the rights of people. They're not. That's not their job. Then you have what is it? The Library of Congress. Y'all all heard of that, right? The Library of Congress is where you all can decipher between facts and fiction. They keep a record of all the lies and the BS that they could possibly do. And then here now they come to want to argue. And you're sitting back, okay, now what does that have to do with the cost tea of China? What does that have to do with saving our people? It don't. It has nothing to do with saving us as a people, as a human race, because it never applied to us. And I say again, anybody who fails to believe what I'm saying, then I take the challenge with you. I take the challenge for you to read the entire United States Constitution and tell me where in the United States Constitution does it say that it applies as a law, and where does it apply to human beings. I'll wait. So my part of being woke happened a long time ago. Now, for the ones who are loving this education as they want to call it, Department of Justice is a code too. Now, let me give you the breakdown of that for the ones who are writing, and people tell me I go too fast, so I'm going to try to slow down for you. Okay, let's spell the word department, D-E. Let's start there. That is the code for to divide everything, D-E. Let's start with the first two letters, y'all. DE stands for to divide everything. Then you got part. Part, now what does part mean in the basic English language? It means to separate from. Does it not? Okay. And then you got meant. You got department to divide everything and separate and then seal it and keep it hidden. That's what meant means as a governmental code, y'all. Meant means that you are hiding it and it's not supposed to be given out past the oath of each person's office under government. It's supposed to be sealed. And why would you want to know about a sealed envelope? Because those are what they're sealing their criminal activities. Are they not? So you can't go forth. So who are they talking about? Okay, because if you got the department, if DE means to divide everything, part it means to separate, and then you got meant for it to be sealed and hidden. How is that applying to everyday human beings? Then you have justice. Now, keep in mind, history has said that government originally said that justice means just us. Okay, but they didn't want it to be obvious to the human eye. So what they did was they changed the spelling of the word justice and made it just ice, with the pronunciation as it sounds like just us. So who are they still? Again, we have to go back and ask this question: who are you talking about? Okay, who are you talking about? Are you talking about human beings? Are you talking about slaves? Are you talking about animals? What exactly are you talking about? Because if the Department of Justice is not about the people, then who the hell is it about? Okay, I'll wait. I'll wait. I truly will. So, and they know that I have been teaching this for years. I've been teaching this for almost 40 years. And I have to, and I even told them, I said, in your constitution, and I say their constitution, I don't call it my constitution, because I wasn't there when they originally wrote it. And neither was neither was Black Nation there when they originally wrote it. So my thing is, how is it that it applies to us as a people? Okay. So I took a look at it and I was like, okay, so I made it relevant to them. I says, well, your constitution has absolutely nothing to do with the human race, and you're covering it with a what at the beginning? A con. Yeah. You covering it up with a con. And yeah, okay, they got upset about it. But how you gonna get angry with somebody who's giving you the truth? You can't don't hate the messenger, hate the message. Because I didn't create the message, you created the message, or your organization created the message, and then you want somebody to pick a side. You want somebody to pick a Democrat versus a Republican, and when both are corrupt. I mean, come on now, let's be real about it. So I don't have a problem with. And then another thing that I took a look at. Has anybody noticed that why is the White House called white? Why is the White House called white? I had to ask them that question. I'm like, how is it that the White House is called white? And then if you think about it, it's it's 99.9% white with that less than 1%. Okay, Obama. And even people are saying that they don't believe that Obama is black. So it's still more than 90% high for the White House. There's not one Black nation person that has been at the White House. Why? And they're like, okay, well, it's because the people voted. No. Because y'all got flimsy and flamsy with that as well. Don't you know, y'all talk about how, see, if it don't go accordingly to the way your voting scale goes, then you got a backup plan for your House of Representatives and all of these other people that sit up there in silent to make a decision as to whether that person becomes the president. So it's still corrupt, isn't it? See, so if you're going to throw a monkey wrench in your whole program as to what and who is supposed to be in the White House, then it's really not legit from the gate of it, is it? And that conversation was like, oh, okay. She wasn't supposed to say that. She wasn't supposed to be that informed on how government is truly ran. But I had to do that because, and I told them this, I said, look, y'all got my black people, you got my black people all botched up with your codes, your ordinance, and your regulations on some BS. And I even gave them the example. Here's the example that I used. There was a case where a young man was at a retail store. Now, keep in mind, he's just out there smoking a cigarette. He's standing outside of a I ain't gonna say what the name of the retail store is because I'm not trying to put nobody on blast. But he was standing outside of a retail store. He was smoking a cigarette. Now, during the time that he's standing there smoking a cigarette, all of a sudden, the store was being robbed. Okay, mind you. The store was being robbed and he's standing up there. And so the first thing that the police did when they arrived to the scene of the crime was to arrest him. And what they put down on the paperwork. Now, see, this is how these lies get transported all the way up to the judge. He was standing there. He said, well, the police said, well, put your hands up. So the man said, well, what are you here for? Because I'm just smoking a cigarette. Are you talking about me standing here smoking a cigarette, or is it because of something that you think I've done? Then as usual, it's white police officers. Mm-hmm. It's always the white the trash collectors. So then the white police officer brings this young man into custody and still not telling him why he brought him there. And see, that's another thing. And this is what I tell people all the time. When you are completely stopped by their so-called officers of the generic alleged law, you need to ask, who are you and why are you stopping me? You need to have a laundry list of questions. Be like, okay, so you brought and the moral to the story is this young man served 7 years in jail for standing there smoking a cigarette next to a white woman. That's what it was all about, according to the paperwork. But during the time that they arrested him, he was brought in. It was a what they call a burglary in progress. But see, he didn't get charged for that. He got charged for smoking a cigarette standing next to a white woman. So I keep telling people, you need to start, and these are for these young people that's out here. Y'all need to find out what exactly are these people saying about you. And another thing, another private meeting that I had a private meeting with the Department of Corrections, because behind the scenes, you see, the news media doesn't cover this type of information, but the Department of Correction is in conjunction with the DOJ. People assume that the DOJ and the DOC is one and the same, but it's not. But what they do is do what they own level of baiting and switching. You see, back in the day, and I don't know how many people remember this, but back in the day, there used to be a federal level. You remember, we used to call upon the feds for when they were allegedly supposed to have been supporting the people by investigating all the crimes that was going on by all of their so-called Department of Justice and Department of Corrections. But no, they don't even do that no more, because now the so-called feds is in on with the corruption. So the question now poses is that we are living in a day and time to where we don't not only need to be watching the feds, but we need to be watching the DOC and the DOJs. We need to be watching everything and everybody that makes a move that is part of government. Because if you don't start getting the power back in our hands, then we're going to forever fail as a unit of people. That's just the way that story is going to go. So they found out that behind the scenes of it all, and we had this conversation, that the Department of Corrections is being sued, and the department, they don't put this type of stuff on the news, because if they put this type of stuff on the news, then you're going to find out a little bit more than you wasn't supposed to find out about. They don't want that type of information, because see, like I told them, I said, look, the Department of Correction is just as corrupt as the DOJ. And then they said, how so? I said, because this is what you guys do. They said, well, ma'am, we are only a part of the totem pole. And I'm like, but wait a minute, you just confessed. You just made a confession. You just said that you're part of the totem pole. You're saying to me, this is what the Department of Correction has said. They said, look, we are responsible for putting people in jail who has committed a crime or allegedly committed a crime. I says, no, what you're doing is, and anybody who has paid attention to the paperwork, you can actually be brought up on charges of kidnapping. And so they said to me, what do you mean kidnapping? How is it that we're kidnapping when we're picking people off of the street? I said, no, what you are doing is whatever falsified information that is coming through your hands. That information starts from your trash collectors called the officer. And then the officer tells a lie to the courtroom so they could split the money or do whatever the money, however they want to split it up. Then it goes higher than that, and then it goes to the next level. So all you're doing is based upon hearsay. And then I asked this very important question to the Department of Correction. I said, do you ever, let me ask you something, as a warden, okay, and see, I'm only talking to leaders. I'm not talking to the people who is getting paid by the hour. You see, wardens are paid a percentage of whatever they collect, whatever they bring into the jail. See, I already knew this. Okay, so they wasn't telling me anything new. Well, we don't get paid by the hour. No, I know you don't get paid by the hour. You get paid by the head. Uh-oh, it got really silent. Huh. Okay, so now you getting a commission off of, and now you have the audacity to tell me that slavery is not still in effect when you are sitting up making more money off of a black man's head for a simple thing. And here's another thing I brought to their attention. I said, first of all, and before I finish finish this thought. I said to the Department of Correction, I said, you know that if the people get wise enough, they can bring charges against the Department of Correction for kidnapping of their loved ones. And he was like, well, no, that can never happen. What do you mean it can't happen? Because see, what's going to happen is if they get what they call a I'm trying to think of the word. It's called a revision. Okay, if you get it's called a reevaluation of a case. If you go and hire a private eye, and I keep telling y'all, private eye people are the most important people in the criminal defense world. I kid you not. They are so knowledgeable. They are so experienced with knowing the different corruption between government and real and all of these other different sorted sources of crime. So I told the Department of Correction, I said, look here, you can be charged with kidnapping on the face of this because you are aiding and abetting with helping based upon hearsay information. And then they were like, no, you can't put that on us. Oh, yes, I can. I said, and let's break this down even further, Mr. Department of Correction. I said, let's break this down even further, shall we? I said, let's take Joe Smo. Okay, we're not talking about anybody in particular because we all know somebody that is fraudulently in jail. So we're gonna say Joe Smo. Okay, now Joe Smo is brought in under false pretenses. And then it's passed along, and then it's passed along. First, it's passed along from the police officer. Then he lied on the report. Y'all remember, and this goes back to when we were in school. I'm pretty sure everybody remember this. Y'all remember there was a thing called storytelling. Okay, storytelling was when you whisper a secret to one person and you say one thing, and by the time it gets down to the end of the line, the whole damn story has changed. Y'all remember how let me tell you, I could whisper into your ear. I could say the dog jumped over the moon. And I'll be damned, by the time it gets to number 10, the dog, not only did the dog jump over the moon, but the dog had a broken leg and stole 12 cars. Do you see how the dynamics of where that starting point becomes fraudulent at? No, see, government is spending way too much time. They're not even investigating their own cases. And to show you that they're not investigating their own cases and it spirals out of control, it starts with the police officer making the fraudulent case. Then the police officer turns it over to what they call a state's attorney. Then the state's attorney turns it over to the public defender or the hired private investigator. Then that person turns it over to the judge of the court, right? Now look at this. This is a 4-star clover that is all fraud. Now, they're not looking at the fact that this person they got this person's life on the line. They got whoever, Joe Smo has got to go to jail for something fraudulent because guess what? Nobody properly challenged the officer. Nobody challenged the circumstances. Nobody took the initiative to go and get the real evidence to support the case. Now, keep in mind, attorneys are hired storytellers. That's what they do. They hire to keep, first of all, they got two jobs. An attorney has two jobs. That first job is to keep you in the dark about how much money that they're making on your head behind closed doors. And then they want to know how much you know. So then by the time they get to that circumstance, oh, well, now here you go. Then Mr. Joe Smo, now he's convicted. He's convicted off of something that he didn't know anything about. You know why he didn't know anything about it? Because he didn't do his necessary steps from the start of it. See, whatever your foundation is, can I preach, y'all? Can I spew this knowledge this evening? If you don't go back and get your foundation to be solid, then how the hell do you expect for it to be washed out in the wash come later? Have you ever noticed by the time it didn't circumstance itself from the prosecutor to the defendant to the judge, now Joe Smo is angry. He's like, oh, well, guess what? I'm going to go and I'm going to go into an appeal. Okay, so let me understand this, Mr. Joe Smo. Mr. Joe Smo, you're going to go into an appeal off of garbage that was already a lie from the start. I'll be like, Mr. Joe Smo, did you have a private eye person on your team? Somebody who was bound to properly represent you and taking your case from the beginning of this thing to the end of this thing? Well, no, I didn't feel like I needed. Okay, stop, Mr. Joe Smo. Mr. Joe Smo, you put yourself in this circumstance because if you had a private investigator from the very start of this matter, then you wouldn't have had to worry about the ending of this matter because you would have been told by the private investigator, you have a right to say no. You have a right to say, I don't want to be a participant of your trials. And then another thing. Everything that if it's not investigated properly, then it's supposed to be looked upon as hearsay evidence. So you mean to tell me you're going to go and allow these people to convict you on hearsay evidence and nobody challenged the people? So here come the DOC. The DOC says, well, that's what I mean, ma'am. He says, ma'am, you seem to forget. You seem to forget it had to go through all of those different channels in order for it to get to the Department of Corrections, as well as to the Department of Justice. So, I'm like, yeah, but so you mean to tell me, Mr. DOC, you mean to tell me that you ain't got enough sense in your head in order to challenge everything or evaluate? No, well, man, we don't have time for that because we have to collect our people. You just did another confession. You just said a confession that we don't have time to properly make sure that we don't have criminals among us. Our job is to make sure that we count heads. That's what the Department of Correction told me. They said their job is not to be concerned, and as far as the warden is concerned, the warden is not on a salary base. The warden is on a commission structure. So if your jail or your and federal, by the way, federal, if you're in a federal prison, then you get 25% more as a commission, as a warden, so that person is always going to not be available because they're only thing they want to contribute to is making sure that the numbers is right. And when I say numbers, if you got a federal prison that holds 1,500 people, then and you only got 1,000, then you know that you got that, you automatically got that 1,000. But that just means that the person at the bottom of the totem pole has to work harder in order to get it there. So then after I looked at it, I said, well, sir, you're just more as responsible for a person's life than the person who actually made the false arrest. And because if you, and then they made a confession. Yeah, we know that we see a lot of people that come through the jails, whether it be federal or local. We know a lot of people that got no business being there. Okay, well, God damn it, if you know that they're not supposed to be there, then why are you continually sitting on your ass doing nothing to help them to get out? It got real silent. Well, that's not part of my job description. No, you mean to tell me so basically what you're saying, Mr. DOC, you're basically saying that if you see for a fact that person if that person is not supposed to be in your prison, and you know for a fact that their paperwork is so screwed up and it's so wrong, well, that would be tapping into the money of the warden. So you mean to tell me, Mr. Department of Correction, Because you know for a fact that that person got no business being in that jail, you're gonna turn your head and just do your job because you're getting paid by the hour. And if you make any noise, that person, you're subject to lose your job, is what they said. They're subject to lose their job because that would be messing with the church's money. Oh, okay. So now, and they said they would prefer that it be done by somebody else. Really? So what you're saying is, Mr. DOC, and yes, another thing that they also made a confession to, they stated that people get them confused with the Department of Justice. But see, the Department of Justice and the Department of Corrections are two different entities. What did I tell you about the codes of department? It's under one mothership, but they all branch out from different entities. So in order for you to make a correction, you rather have somebody else to do the work for you. And then they said, well, yeah, because they work very closely with the warden of that particular prison, whether it be federal prison or regular jail. They're like, no, we're not going to put ourselves, but you already putting yourself, because don't you know, by you holding a person, knowing that that person is innocent, you know for a fact that person is innocent if you got eyes and ears and you've been listening to the case, and they say, yeah, it's part of the job description to follow along with the cases and why the people are, or why the individuals are there. Okay, so if you know for a fact that Mr. Joe Smo got no business being there, and you're telling me the reason why you're not going to pitch in is because you're just going to shuffle that paper and let that person, Mr. Joe Smo, sit in there until doomsday. Well, yeah, because that affects the warden's money. I see. Okay. All right. Well, I can truly understand that. And I'm going to tell y'all something else. These interviews that I am doing behind the scenes, I'm going to invite these people. I'm going to try to convince these people who work for these departments to join me on my platform, to where you, the general public, can ask your own questions. Because I'm pretty sure as you're sitting here listening to me this evening, you probably got your own list of questions that you would like to ask. Because I know I had more questions even after I left, talking to them. Now, as far as the DOJ, Department of Justice is really the ones that makes the decisions for the DOCs. Okay, it's more like that next level of going up on the totem pole. Okay. The Department of Justice is supposed, and allegedly, and I say supposed and allegedly, is supposed to help fight crime within their own justice system. Now, mind you, what I just said to you, I didn't say that their job is to fight justice for the human race. They're not there to fight for the human race. They're there to make sure that they are fighting properly for regular people who work for government. Now, if Joe Smo, let me tell you, if Joe Smo was a worker of government, then they got people there that's going to take the paperwork and do what they call a bait and switch in order for it to move wherever they need it to move. Now, mind you, I've told you on past videos on how the black man is on the black market. Black men are being sold every day. And in order for that to grow interest, they have to do some time between 7 to 10 years for something as basic as common knowledge. So another thing that I brought a question to the DOJ as well as the DOC. I'm talking to both of them. Okay. And as far as the DOJ is concerned, well, here's where this rolls at. if the DOC cannot, and this is the response from the DOJ, if the DOC cannot make an ample enough decision, and see, mind you, folks, I said decision, not based upon facts. It's based upon decision. Decision can mean my own personal feeling about it. I may come to work and feel like eating bananas, and they're serving pineapples. So if I don't feel like eating bananas, then I'll say to hell with you, and you can keep it moving. So I have a problem with that. See, I'm getting into places, and I hate to say it, but I'm getting pissed off. I get pissed off because I'm hearing stuff and I'm finding out stuff that the general public needs to hear. They need to be aware of how they are doing this mess behind the scenes of it all. And next week's video, I want to add this. Next week's video, I'm going to be talking more about Commonwealth. And the only thing that I can suggest to everybody is that you guys come in on a live video, because I don't know if YouTube is going to be on their garbage. Come on in, you know, even if you have to make a small comment or whatever, let your presence be known, to let me know that you're out there listening. But my thing is this. I have been talking, well, you know, faces change. I've talked to the DOJ and I've spoken with the DOC, which, like I said before, they could easily do a bait and switch. But getting back to the DOC, I told them, I said, you know, if the public ever finds out, they can press charges against kidnapping. They can, because kidnapping is when you intentionally know that a crime is being committed and you're still holding that person against their will. So that kind of much shut them up when I made that comment or that statement. I said, yeah, you can be charged with a federal. And see, here's another thing that I don't understand about y'all's wording and how y'all do a bait and switch. I was looking at a case that came across my desk, and it said a CM. Now I'm saying to myself, okay, I know what a CM is, but the general public doesn't know what a CM is. A CM is called a criminal misdemeanor for the ones who are writing down codes. A CM, I'm going to give you both of them. A CM is a criminal misdemeanor, and a CF is a criminal felony. For the ones who wants to know. Now, I'm going to break this down in layman's term as it was broken down to me. Criminal misdemeanor, meaning that you didn't do anything that was damaging, but we think you were thinking about doing something damaging. And I'm like, Steph, what? Say that again. Okay, so put it to you in this perspective. Let's say you're walking down the street and you're chewing bubble gum, and all of a sudden you stop in midstream and there's a crime going on around you. Now, you know darn well you don't have nothing to do with the crime, but see, they say, well, you were at the scene of the crime, even though you wasn't part of the crime. We're going to take you in as a misdemeanor because you thought about committing a crime. So you mean to tell me, let me get this right, Mr. Law Officer, bullshit law officer at that. You mean to tell me that you're taking people in for people just being there but not being a part of the crime? And they said, well, yeah, that's called a CM. A CM is the code for a criminal misdemeanor because you were at the scene of the crime even though you didn't do nothing. Now, from where okay, so let me get this straight. Okay, let me get this straight, Mr. Officer. You mean to tell me that if I'm standing somewhere minding my own business, that means that you can just feel like just because I was there and that's going on behind my back in association, they're like, well, yeah, we could take you in, and they feel like they can book you for that. But no, you can't. Because first of all, and this is where all of the paperwork gets screwed up at, you need to actually physically prove that that person was involved with that crime. You cannot just, okay, well, a person was standing there, so we call that a criminal misdemeanor. Okay, but back in the day, and this I'm going back in my day, in my time when I came up. There, you see, a criminal misdemeanor is almost like you're saying half pregnant. Nobody can be half pregnant. Either you're pregnant, either you're having a baby, or you're not having a baby. Which is it? You can't. It can't be both. So what you're saying is we don't. According to Mr. Officer says that he doesn't have a reason. He don't need a reason according to their oath. Uh-oh. Did y'all hear that? According to their oath, they don't have to have a reason to. Oh yeah, you do. Because then now here he comes talking about, well, let me show you this, ma'am. This is it's in the ruling ordinance and judgments and this, that, and the third. Sir, let me say this to you. An ordinance, a statute, and a code are not laws. I'm getting so sick and tired of y'all trying to make statutes and codes and rulings as law. It is not law that should be applied to the general population of people that is doing no crimes. That makes absolutely no sense. So then he says, well, we don't care, because even on the what is it called? The police level, they have to make their numbers too. They have to make their numbers. They're just like, they tell a lie and say that they don't collect off tickets or whatever. These people are desperate. They're looking for any type of reason. You can breathe heavy on a straw. They're gonna find a reason to bring it in, so it could match their final numbers. You see, bookkeeping and this is where bookkeeping comes into play. It's called the Court Administration Office. See, if you ever want to know how much money is being made off of all of the scams that is made off of people's head, you can place an order from the Court Administration Office, and by alleged law, they're supposed to give it to you, because it's supposed to be public record on how they're spending money off of your head or off your loved one's head versus how much money that they are supposed to have to take care of a facility. That's just like I know how they did a bait and switch on the books in reference to the phone calls. Y'all know that they have what they call commissary. Y'all know that they supposed to have a budget to feed each prisoner $25 in food per day. And the prisoners are saying, oh no, the food, we're not getting $25 worth of food a day. They're also supposed to inform the prisoners that if they are found fraudulently in prison, they're entitled to that compensation money for being in prison. And depending on what state you're in, it can range from $10,000 to $25,000 a day. All I'm gonna say, look, cha-ching, have my money ready, because the only check that cannot come back cash called void is the one from the Almighty High, the Most High. See, his checks it's never going to come back void. But these are things that, and DOC have basically confessed it. They were like, well, we're not supposed to tell the prisoners that what we're doing, because then that will start a war or a riot inside of the jail. Well, yeah, that's true. That might be true. But my thing is, you're not making your money legitimately, are you? You're not making your money legitimately. So we have an issue with that. And then they say, well, if we're not satisfied with the results, then we go to the Department of Justice. And the Department of Justice, what they're saying is right now, oh, well, we're gonna put that back in the hands of the Department of Crime. So now what they're doing is playing 2 for 2. They're playing 2 for 2. They're like, okay, well, no, go back to the Department of Justice, and it's based upon their decision. No, it's not based upon their decision. It's based upon your decision. No, you got that incorrect. Okay. So I feel like between the two of them, I'm getting what I call the Three Stooges: Mo, Larry, and Curly. Okay. When y'all decide to get, when y'all decide to get this together, everybody's looking for a way to be hidden. That's basically what it is. Everybody is looking for a way out. Be like, now things are corrupt, and you know that your whole system is based upon corruption. So what are you doing to fix it? Because I can tell you this: 63 of the black men that are in prisons within the United States is in there under false pretenses and false paperwork that was falsified from the very start of it. But you see, I don't have the teamwork. You see, I don't have the teamwork to go after all of these men, all of these black men. This is the reason why I say I need help. I need help. I'm not too big to ask for help. Okay, I got the blueprint, but all I need is for my black brothers to back me up on the blueprint. Let's get it done. So, but yeah, I could easily take the trip to Washington D.C. again, make the trip. This is how I do my fundraising. This is where the money goes. It goes to getting our black men free. And yes, and for the person who keeps asking me, well, where are you with working with Grandmaster Jay? We'll talk about that at a later date. We'll talk about that at a later date. And if anybody has been paying close attention to my words, then you would already know how Grandmaster Jay is doing, because I've been talking in codes for the past 3 months. I've been talking in codes for the past at least 3 to 4 months. And if you have not been paying attention to my codes, then you wouldn't be asking me a question about what's going on with Queen Bees and Grandmaster Jay. See, I have to be very, very, and let me say this: I may not be the smartest pair of scissors in the bunch. I'm not the smartest one, but I'm far from being stupid. And I'm not going to sit up here and give out information that I know that might be damaging later. I know what's going on behind the scenes. I know what needs to be done behind the scenes, and we are working on it every blissful minute. I am busy. It's just like I remember off of one of Jay's videos when he said that he was on a plane, and he said that he said, we know that the pilot is there. I don't need for the pilot to be all up in my face every time I turn around. Just fly the plane and get us where we need to be, safe and sound. Well, that's the same thing here. Everybody people wants to know what you're doing, how you doing it. When is this going to happen? When is that going to happen? Just know that it's going to happen. And stop believing the hype. Stop believing everything that y'all, that you see. Stop getting in your feelings, as Jay would say. Jay would say, you all up in your feelings. So I know what's going on. And I don't know how much he knows what's going on. I don't know. I just know what I'm doing, and I know what we're doing. So in due time, all of that, and I've said this in the past, and I'll say it again, Grandmaster Jay, when he is able, he's got a story that he's going to need to tell. And it's not for me to tell it. I can only tell you from my perspective, and I will tell my perspective as to how this got to be there and how that got to be there. But it's not the time. It's not the time. I'm not going to be like some other people I know. Some other people get up there and be like, oh, let me tell you everything I know. Let me tell you, and so-and-so did this, and so-and-so did that. And see, when you get up on these YouTube media, social media platforms and get to blabbing everything that you know, then your plans is going to be affected by it. Then the plans won't go through because you done sat up here and told everybody. My father used to say, loose lips sink ships. And the more you get up and tell people, which they really don't need to know at this point in time, you will know in due time. All I can tell people is to be patient. Be patient. And I've been talking in codes. If you've been paying attention, for the ones who pay attention to my videos, if you have been paying strict attention to what I say and how I say it, you know I'm talking in code. I even put a code in the description. 444 for the missing link of a 411. That's a code. I even dropped the codes for what the Department of Justice means, what the Department of Corrections means, all the way down. I've been talking in nothing but codes. And the people that's supposed to know what my codes mean is going to know what it means. And for the ones, if you still don't know what it means, then guess what? It wasn't meant for you to know. And that's all I can tell you. So I am going to continue to talk in code. I'm going to continue to share with you the information of the private meetings that I am having behind the scenes to get where we need to be and to get Grandmaster Jay where he needs to be. Next week, we're going to, and this is the reason why, and people have been commenting with me, oh, she put up there private meeting not to disturb. That's right, because I'm getting all kind of emails from people who view my videos after we're off of the program. They're not coming into the chats. They're not, I mean, they're not, they're sitting in the trenches. They're sitting in the trenches watching. And I don't have a problem with people watching. I don't have a problem with people asking me questions. But if you have not been a part of the whole progress or the program, then I really don't feel like I owe you an explanation about it. Just sit tight and you will know when everybody else will know. But yes, and people say, oh, well, we need to know this and we need to know that. No, you don't. Just hold tight. If you are a true supporter of Grandmaster Jay or any of the black men who we are fighting behind the scenes for, then hold tight. That's all I can tell you. Hold tight. It's coming. Because God didn't make no mistakes as far as putting me and the team in place. And he's sure in the hell not going to make a mistake. And that check is not going to come back void. So I would appreciate, I don't have like I said again, I don't have a problem with people reaching out to me or the Queen Bees. But let's lose the attitude. Let's lose the attitude about, oh, well, you're doing this. I can't be a host and fly the plane at the same time. Okay. We are not, matter of fact, we are traveling. We are doing a lot of things and we are making progress. That's the only thing I can say at this point. That's the only thing I can say. There's going to be a lot more private meetings. And I'm also inviting, let me say that. I'm also inviting the Department of Corrections as well as Department of Justice to come on to my platform to be asked some open questions that I'm pretty sure the viewing audience has some questions that they would like to ask. I don't know what your questions are. So, you know, if you come into the chat, if you email me, maybe I can get your question on or get your question in. I keep telling people I am that connecting dot. I connect my dots. I let, you know, if you say, well, Queen, we want you to talk about this with the DOC, or we want you to talk about this with the DOJ. Okay, I'll do that. You tell me what it is you want, that you specifically want to know, and I'll make sure that it happens, and I'll come back and give you an answer. But I don't need people to sit up there and say, well, you know, what are you doing and how you doing it and this, that, and the third. I don't need that. That I don't need at all. So, yes, I know what's going on. Does Jay know what's going on? I can't answer that. I don't know what Jay knows. I don't know if they're telling him what we're doing. I don't know. I just know that it would be best for me to wait and speak with him at the most appropriate time, because the dialogue at this point don't need to be there, for the simple fact that I could easily slip up and tell him something that we're working on that he'll find out later. You know, we already know how the chessboard is supposed to work. So I just need everybody to be calm, cool, and collective. As far as that goes, and yes, next week I'm going to have some more interesting stuff to share in reference to Kentucky and Commonwealth, because I am talking to them behind the scenes, and I do have some receipts if I need to show that. But right now, we're still baking that cake, and we're waiting for that result. So anybody who has any questions, comments, or concerns, this will be the time to come into the chat. If you have any questions that you would like to ask me before I play some more music and I get out of here. I'm not going to make it a long 3-hour video. It's just going to be facts that I presented this evening. I hope that you guys have taken some substantial amount of notes from this program to where it will be beneficial for you. And I hope the ones who have been following me to pick up on the codes that I've been talking with. So I am going, if I don't see anybody coming in, and I don't see anybody typing anything, so I'm going to pull up our getting out of here music, and I bid you all peace, and I will see you on Thursday. Yes, I will be here on Thursday because I got some other videos that I have to do before I get back to the DOC and DOJ information. So just Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired.
Just wanted to start a business. Jess, you need to sell those. And then this happens. I've been in the storm too long. Lord, too long. I've been in the storm too long. Lord, too long. I need a little more time. I need a little time. I need a little time to pray. Cause I've been in the storm. I've been in the storm. Yes, I have. Too long. Too long. I've been in the storm. Yes, I have. Too long.